Hi Year 7, Mr. Tapley here to walk you through your next lesson of Year 7 Humanities, Term 2. What we'll be doing this lesson, hopefully it's an enjoyable lesson for you guys, we'll be identifying key economic principles represented in an episode of The Simpsons. So similar to that business case study you guys did, you guys are taking your economic knowledge from the textbook, from the slides, the theory of economics, and you're applying it to a practical scenario, an example, a real example of economics in action. Success criteria is to identify and interpret how economic principles are represented in a video and draw connections to the presence of economics in everyday life. So it's easy to see these economic principles when they're written nicely in a textbook in front of you and they've got little subheadings and the words are bold and underlined, but can you identify these economic principles like consumers and producers, opportunity costs, etc., in a video representation of economics? So, at this stage of the term, again, I'm hoping you can define a few key economic principles. However, can you identify and interpret these concepts in a video? This lesson you'll be watching an episode of The Simpsons. You don't need any background information on the TV show if you've never seen it before. All you need to know is that one of the main characters, Marge Simpson, is dealing with the challenges of starting a new business. So just like any new business owner, she's dealing with a few opportunity cost challenges around other businesses competing with her, how she's getting her goods out, her workers, etc. You'll see in the episode, no spoilers. In the assignment section of Google Classroom, which I will show you in a moment, you will find a worksheet to complete while viewing the episode. The worksheet asks you to identify examples of economic concepts. Submit the worksheet at the end of the lesson. So the episode's about 20 minutes. A lesson of Humanities is about 40 to 50 minutes, depending on how late you guys show up. So hopefully there should be plenty of time for you to either watch the episode and then do the worksheet, or hopefully it probably would be better for you guys, easier for you guys, if you complete the worksheet while you're watching the video. But I'll show you where that is located. So this is 7F3, 7E4, you've got the same thing happening in your page, but if you go into classwork, so you can see you've got your student notebook there, that's the economics visual glossary that you guys completed, and I have uploaded the results for most of you who have handed those in on time. And just underneath that, we've got the economics of The Simpsons. It's cut off at the moment. But if you click on that file in assignments in Google Classroom, you'll be greeted with a Google Docs file. Open that up. And you can see I haven't given you, hopefully, very difficult questions. They should be really straightforward questions here. So, economics on TV, identifying key economic principles in The Simpsons. So question 1, identify the main good or service provided by Pretzel Wagon, which is the business that Marge Simpson starts. Hopefully you've got an idea of that by the title of the business. So the main good or service provided by Pretzel Wagon. Question 2, identify at least one consumer and one producer of Pretzel Wagon goods and services. So you'd be looking for the people who work at that business for producer, and if consumers, you'd be looking for anyone who purchases a pretzel from that business. Question 3, what are the opportunities and costs of Marge starting a new business? So some of the positives and negatives, some of the benefits of starting a new business, and some of the challenges she faces in this episode. Question 4, looking at scarcity. The limited resource in this episode isn't money or time, it is what? So what is the most limited resource, most scarce thing in this episode of The Simpsons? So what is the biggest challenge Marge faces? She doesn't have a limited amount of money or a limited amount of time, she has a limited what? Question 5. Identify 2 or 3 other workers jobs in this episode unrelated to Pretzel Wagon. So you'd be looking for other people like a policeman or a fireman or etc. I can't remember if they hire firemen in this episode. Anyway, question 6. Identify one financial and one non-financial benefit to the Simpsons family of the Pretzel Wagon business. So what's one financial and non-financial benefit the Simpsons will get out of this business succeeding? Question 7. Last question. If the Pretzel Wagon business failed, what would be the economic impact? So consider the impact to the workers at Pretzel Wagon, consider competing businesses and consumers. So basically for that last question here, and I'd say for this assignment, each question, one sentence. Not a lot of details required for these questions. I didn't want to give you guys too much work while you're watching an episode of The Simpsons. But question 7, what's going to be the impact to the workers at Pretzel Wagon if the business fails? Are they going to be better off? Are they going to be worse off? Are they going to lose their jobs? Are they going to lose money? Competing businesses, are they going to be happy if Pretzel Wagon fails? Consumers, are they going to be happy? Are they going to be sad? Something like that. So you've got 7 questions there. I'll give you guys a hint. If you have Disney Plus, it actually has this episode of The Simpsons on there in glorious high definition with closed captions and everything. But for those of you that don't, like Mr. Tapley, where I've put the video for this actual assignment, so that's where the learning task is, just a little worksheet there. If you have questions about that, please let me know. You should all be able to access it, just like your student notebook. You just click on it, that's your file, only you have it, and then at the top right it'll say hand it in or submit, and you submit that to me. I've said in the PowerPoint at the end of the lesson, I might extend that to the end of the week, just to give you guys some more time to work on it in case you are running behind, or if, like Mr. Tapley today, that's why I'm recording this video at night, your internet dies. So anyway, this is where the file is. As for the video, 2 places to find it. So if you go down to resources, you can see I've got the class slides, I've got our teacher notebook where I'm putting my answers to the textbook questions we're doing every lesson. We've got this one here, Economics of the Simpsons video file. If I open that up, it'll take me to the episode of The Simpsons that I've put into our Google Drive folder. So Year 7 Economics of the Simpsons. And you just need to click on that there, and that'll take you to the episode. The other place where you can find it is, I'm not sure if you guys have played around with this yet, but if you click on Class Drive folder up here at the top, and again 7E4, you've got the same thing in your Google Classroom page. If you click on Class Drive folder at the top, it'll take you to our folder for this classroom. So you can see I've got the slides, that's the episode of The Simpsons you'll be watching, chapter 20, chapter 21, so it's all there. Yeah, so that's what you're working on this lesson, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, good luck, enjoy, and yeah, cheers.